We start tonight with something that is going to happen tomorrow morning. After years of pleas that fell on deaf ears and an arrogant dismissal of the public concerns, the first of 2 lawsuits filed against Riverside County Animal Services will go to court. The hearing is scheduled for 8:30 in Palm Springs. This one addresses the Hayden Act and if the county is following the law. The Hayden Act basically states you must do all you can to care for animals in the shelter and not kill them as a result of overcrowding. The county will argue they don't have the money to do that. The judge will decide tomorrow if the case goes to trial. All right, let me ask you a question. If you thought somebody was breaking into your house, what would you do? Well, if you had AHC security, you know help would be on the way. But let's say they got in before anybody could get there. What would you do? If you thought your life was in danger and you had a weapon, I think you'd shoot them. Or maybe you wouldn't shoot them. They're talking a bill in the state assembly that would make defending your home with force illegal. It says you would have to exhaust all reasonable means to escape danger other than the use of force likely to cause death or great bodily injury. So if somebody broke into your home and you did anything to defend yourself, whatever that is, instead of running, you'd be committing a crime. Our contributors tonight, Anthony Turk and Katrina Dixon. Anthony, you're up first. What do you think of this idea?
Well, you know, Fred, I think anyone should be able to defend their home and their family. And I think that, I just think that if we can't defend our own property and our own family, then what's the point? I totally disagree with this.
Katrina?
Absolutely. I mean, good luck getting anybody in the southern states to agree to anything similar to that. And most of California, this area, is going to agree with that. Somebody breaks into my house, I'm not taking any risks. Sorry, they're already on my property and risking my safety. That's on them if I have to do drastic measures to protect myself.
Now, so here's what the author of the bill says, all right? It's meant to prevent wannabe vigilantes from provoking violence and then claiming self-defense. Now, we're not talking about people walking down the street and trying to arrest others. We're talking about somebody breaks into your house and you think your life is in danger. So using the vigilante analogy, Katrina, does that make sense?
Anybody that's a true vigilante does not care if there's a law that says they're not supposed to be doing it. And if they manage to actually goad somebody into breaking into their house, then that person is probably should be watched anyway. So no, doesn't change my opinion on that at all.
Anthony, here's the question right before we go. All right, somebody breaks into your house at 3 in the morning. Now, the deal is you can't use too much force. They're standing in your house at 3 in the morning staring at you. So how much force would be too much force?
Well, assuming I didn't have a heart attack first, looking at the person standing above me, you know what? Who's going to monitor that? At that time of the morning, I'm going to go ape crazy and I'm going to attack them. I'm going to do anything I possibly can to save myself, my home, and my family. And if that means that I'm going to kill somebody, I can't monitor myself at that point. Sorry.
All right. I want to show you some pictures now. Melinda actually sent these to us. She's a viewer, and they come from Desert Hot Springs. They were taken from the street in front of Wells Fargo Bank. Yes, that is a homeless encampment, and apparently that encampment has been there for a while. Cities across the state of California have passed banning sitting, lying, sleeping, or camping in any public place laws. But there you go, that's also out in DHS. One man who was arrested for camping out in Fresno wanted to go to court to sue the city. His case was continued till April. Okay, so Katrina, we'll start with you this time. What do you think of the illegal camping laws?
I cannot agree with this. It is too difficult to find your way back from something like this in a quick manner of time. And in the meantime, it should not be illegal to exist just because you don't have an address. There's just, I can't even with this bill. I'm sorry.
Anthony?
You know, this is a tricky one because I've worked a lot with the unhoused and I see both sides of this. I think that, first of all, it shouldn't be a crime to sleep outside. That should not be a crime. But I think that we need to be offering more places for people to go to and stay. And, you know, if people choose not to and they want to stay on the street and they're living in squalor, then that's a whole nother subject. But I think it's wrong to criminalize it, though.
During the Palm Springs Film Festival, fans were allowed to sleep on the sidewalk for a couple of days, no arrests. Is that hypocritical, or is the meaning of the law clear, Anthony?
I don't find it hypocritical. I think those are false equivalents. People living on the street because they have nowhere else to go, that's completely different than fans just camping out for a couple of days to see their favorite stars. I think it's a total false equivalent, and I don't think it's hypocritical.
Homelessness is not going away, Katrina. Is making it more and more illegal the right play? Okay, we lost her signal. She froze. We'll try to get her back. We've been telling you about the party house problem in Thousand Palms and parts of unincorporated Riverside County for almost 10 months. Short-term rentals have turned into party houses that disrupt the neighborhood. Residents have been complaining for years, and quite frankly, nobody listened and nobody cared. We started talking about it, and the county started paying attention. Last week, there was a meeting with residents. It was considered private, so the county folks wouldn't let them record anything. But somebody did. Here is audio of Manny Perez talking about the issue.
Now, this is regardless of short-term rentals or not, because parties have been going on before short-term rentals, right?
Did a lot as a teenager.
Not like this.
No, they've been going on forever. They've been going on forever. They have bandas, all that stuff. I know for a fact. Right now, I said we can take the time to try to figure out how we're going to address the cap issue. And at this point, what I mean by that as well, anybody that wants to submit to become a short-term rental, at this point, moving forward, we're not allowing it. So I need to make sure that we take the time like we did in Ottawa, like we did in Temecula, and give this its fair process, in my opinion, so that we can address these other concerns
And also
too.
the enforcement.
Yeah.
Which we initiated.
All right, so let's make sure we start working on that.
All right, so apparently Manny knew there was a problem, but chose not to correct it. But now he will. So let's see what happened. Yeah, that was captured by a neighbor. That was another party, some distance away from another house, a party house. Manny said he would institute a moratorium on short-term rentals, very much like Chuck Washington did in District 3. Yesterday at the Board of Supervisors meeting, Manny didn't even bring it up. Remember, he was able to do something he thought was important in 9 days. Apparently, he doesn't think this is quite as important. There's a difference between activity and action. Congratulations on finally holding a meeting you showed up late for. When are you going to fix it?